It's a lot.
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you.
I want to hire an investigative team, 100,000 cash to find out every specific detail involving Meek Mill named to the Diddy case. I also want them to look at who is powering the media involving Meek. Anything to do with Buddy. Something is not right.
We planned and controlled performances, which he called freak-offs.
The streets are buzzing with serious talk about Meek Mill dropping major truth about Diddy's wild Hollywood parties, and it's got everyone tuned in from fans to industry insiders. Meek, known for always keeping it real, just shared something that could flip the script on everything people thought they knew about those legendary events. And while this isn't your typical celebrity rumor, the kind of info coming out now has folks talking like never before, from aunties to influencers. This story is spreading fast and strong with whispers of footage that's got the power to change the game completely, so stay close, because what's coming next might just shake up the whole scene in ways no one saw coming.
I want to hire an investigative team, 100,000 cash to find out every specific detail involving Meek Mill named to the Diddy case. I also want them to look at who is powering the media involving Meek. Anything to do with Buddy. Something is not right. Somebody said, bro, it's your antics. It's you. You're the one powering that narrative. Now cash at me my 100K. Then he said, the streets know what's up with me. That's not the case. We talking about business side. Somebody powering these bad campaigns with Meek Mill again. I got 100K for a thorough investigation of who's powering and how exactly my name is connected to this. How your name is connected to this? Bro, there's so many videos of you and Diddy. There's videos of Diddy calling you daddy, bro. What do you mean how your name is connected to this? You know, I don't want to sit here and say Meek Mill did this or Meek Mill did that. I mean, who knows what was even happening at these alleged freak-off Diddy parties or whatever. But he's asking, how is my name connected to Diddy? Have you not seen the footage? What are you talking about? That's all I'm saying, bro. How you're connected to Diddy? Like, I don't know, bro. He called you daddy. You guys were seen partying a lot.
Before we get into the footage that's got everyone on edge, let's take a step back and talk about why Diddy's parties have become the center of so much buzz. Behind those velvet ropes is a world so exclusive and intense that celebrities are risking reputations just to get through the door. These aren't your typical Hollywood gatherings. These are invite-only, no-phone, no-leak freak-off parties where the stakes are sky-high and the rules are silent. For years, people have wondered what really goes on at these events. Some say it's just a safe space for the rich and famous to let loose. Others hint at much darker scenes, ones that even industry insiders avoid speaking on. Diddy's been known to throw legendary parties from the Hamptons to LA. But this level is different, more secretive, more risky, and far more intense. And while whispers have always floated around, nothing has ever been confirmed until now. What's being revealed threatens to shake that secrecy wide open, because this time the stories aren't just rumors. And if what's coming out is true, we're about to see Hollywood like we've never seen it before.
Meek Mills. Well, he said a Philly rapper. You understand? And it was redacted in the paperwork to that, because first of all, it had Meek Mills, it had Stevie J, they had redacted their names, and they had Usher, and they redacted their names and just said a performer of the Super Bowl and a Philly rapper. Everybody kind of knew back in the day that Meek Mills and Puff was a little too friendly. Anytime two rappers or two people in the industry come dressed up alike on more than one occasion, listen here, man. My dudes in Philly, I got some real strong dudes in Philly. They don't play that shit. And they probably embarrassed for the fact to see that Meek Mills, one of the street guys that came out of there, got caught up in this Hollywood shit. This Hollywood shit, whereas that he's dressing the same shit. He dressing like Diddy? Hugged up with Diddy? I think that Lil Rod know a lot of shit, but I know this. Two men dress alike, it's just like two men laying down. When they both get up, they both homos. And that's real talk, bruh. My man, you go to a party, dog, and the nigga got the same shirt you got on, I'm taking my shirt off. I'm walking around in a t-shirt. And then, not to blow Meek Mill up out the water or anything like that, it was said that they checked his Google search and all the other shit, and he was searching for some online gay porn and all that other shit like that.
Oh, wow.
That shit is crazy, bro. But listen, those are what, you know, it's crazy that money, that lifestyle, and you trying to fit into something get you. These guys never set out to do all this shit. Meek Mills, when he got into the game, he didn't set out to be questioning about his manhood with Diddy. But he put himself in that position.
Now I know you're probably wondering just how wild could it really be, but let me break it down in plain truth. The stories that have floated around for years paint a picture that's way past your average celebrity party. We're talking about rumored drug use that would make rock legends look tame, whispers of intimate encounters so outrageous, even the most unbothered folks would pause. And then there's the talk of shady deals and quiet power moves happening when all those big names gather in one space. But here's the twist, all of it has just been word of mouth, nothing solid, no proof, just stories and blurred snapshots that never told the full tale. That's why this supposed leak from Meek Mill is making serious waves for the first time. We might be looking at actual receipts, not gossip, not guesswork, but real inside footage. And if even a fraction of what's being said is real, this could rattle the entire foundation of Hollywood. Now, of course, we've seen big talk turn into little truth before, but the buzz around this one feels different, like we're not just chasing rumors this time. We might actually be staring down the storm.
They also revealed that they got photos and videos of Diddy Freakos.
When they did that raid, you understand, what they did was, prior to the raid, they reviewed that civil lawsuit. And that civil lawsuit told, Cassie's civil lawsuit was Lil Rod had already did it. Lil Rod hadn't did his yet, did he? Did Lil Rod do his lawsuit before the raid or after the raid?
Oh, before.
Yeah, so what they did was they reviewed both of those civil lawsuits and found that there was some criminal activity in those lawsuits. We spoke that on Art of Dialogue. We spoke about that on your show. I said if they really wanted him, all they had to do was review those civil lawsuits. And once they find the criminal activity in those, they could bring him in. Now, did the Federal Bureau of Investigation in Miami do it? No, they didn't. Did California do it? No, they did not. The Southern District of New York, they took it upon themselves and put on that raid and everything based on the information they found in Cassie lawsuit and the information they found in Lil Rod lawsuit. But all this is bigger than Diddy. It's bigger than Diddy, bro. Because you know who else they was doing investigation on during that whole time period? It was the mayor and the politicians in New York City. They turn around and give him the key to the city. All the mayor people that he brought on here in New York City are all resigning. They all resigning. People ain't gonna tie this together, but if you look at it, you have to say, because of Mayor Adams and his relationship with Diddy, it brought on the Southern District of New York to start investigating Diddy on civil lawsuits that was put against him. Because the feds is going after all these politicians in New York City.
Yeah, the feds revealed that, anybody that, participated in any, criminal behavior at his freak-offs, they're going to pursue.
Listen here. The mayor here take like 15 spoons of sugar in his coffee. So it's all a possibility.
Do you think it's any celebrities on them tapes?
Bro, he gave celebrity parties. So what you think? I think they're not telling the whole truth, is that because of the situation in Miami and the situation in California, and they closed the clubs like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. or something like that, that Justin and Christian was bringing big vans of girls and people back to the mansion and giving parties and stuff like that. And a lot of those stuff were their parties. A lot of that shit was their parties. They wasn't always Puff parties. It was his son's parties.
Good point. They said some of these freak-offs will last for days.
That's where they're gonna get him on the sex trafficking thing. Especially like if he was traveling and doing it. That's where the sex trafficking come at. That you hiring sex workers to come and have sex with your girl, that's crazy. That's some Hollywood shit that I don't even know, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. But they also claiming that, Diddy, he'll give ecstasy to his victims to keep them obedient.
Then they have to bring those witnesses in there. That's gonna be something hard to prove. Unless Lil Rob or or Cassie state that was something that happened. That's how the prosecutor's gonna prove that. They got a ton of evidence that they gotta try to prove, bro. A lot of that that if you read it, it could be circumstantial, you know what I'm saying? But they gotta have witness to back it up. You just can't say that happened based on somebody lawsuiting with the words that they're saying. They have to have witnesses in there. And I think Puff lawyers is gonna be smart enough to attack that.
Right. And they claiming that Diddy, he was blackmailing his victims because he had videos from old freak-offs and he was using those videos to get his victims to do another freak-off. So,
if he was blackmailing people, especially people that work for him, see, this is what it's gonna get him at. See, people think that, those people work for him, or those people, if they was artists and they worked for him, or they were engineers, or anybody that worked for them and stuff like that, your boss cannot blackmail you to do nothing. If you do a sexual act or you doing anything, your boss, if he have you doing those things like that, then he could be liable for suit. Because you're not doing it willingly. Because that individual is your boss. So psychologically, you know what I'm saying? I don't care what nobody say, that when somebody has something over you, could determine your job, your career, your livelihood. That's somewhat of a blackmail if they holding stuff that they've done, that you've done in the past, over your head to make you continually doing that stuff. Now, that's where he loses at. Because some of those people worked for him, or he was a part of doing something. They was part of doing something for their career with him. That's why he loses that case.
You think you've seen celebrities wild out before, But baby, this footage might just change the whole meaning of partying in Hollywood. Meek Mill didn't just crack open Pandora's box, he blew the lid clean off. And what's spilling out is more shocking than catching your best friend sneaking around with your ex. This leaked video isn't just messy, it's explosive. We're talking major A-listers caught on camera doing things that could make even the boldest party crowd blink twice, the kind of scenes that'll leave jaws on the floor and reputations hanging by a thread. And yes, Diddy is right there in the thick of it, hosting the chaos like it's just another night out. But this isn't just about wild fun. The whispers on the street say some of what's happening in this footage might cross serious lines. We're talking about moments that could bring real consequences, not just for image, but for legal standing too, if this leak is legit. And from the looks of it, it's more than just smoke. Then we could be looking at lawsuits, investigations, and a full-blown crisis for some of the biggest names in the game. This isn't just another Hollywood scandal. This is the kind of storm that changes careers and maybe even ends them.
Everybody knew that Puff took Tupac blueprint and changed Biggs and Bad Boy in image. I Get Around talked about how fly you was, how many girls you mess with, how many cars you drive, how much money you got, what you willing to do. He took his image. Pac was the first one on the scene wearing Versace shirts. He went and got the same Versace shirts Pac had. Which, all right, some dudes would do that. You would never catch me wearing something else, something that somebody else got. He was knocking down all the women that he thought Pac was knocking down. And what I mean is having sex with. Why would you want to have sex with women you know for sure a dude that was once cool with you was dealing with? That's that image. Because you got to realize, bruh, Puff and Pac was cool at one time. We know this. Mopreme said that they was going to sign the Bad Boy. So if he's going to sign to Bad Boy, it was because of Corey and them. I put that picture on the internet. I put the picture on my channel of Corey Jones. Is Corey Jones, Corey Jacobs? I think Corey Jacobs and Pac right next to each other. Those was the real bad boys of Bad Boy. You understand? Those are the ones who got the 16 to life sentence. That Pac was gonna go and be with them first. But then Mopreme said when it became just Big and Puff, because Corey and them went to jail, he changed his direction. But nobody know why Pac and Puff fell out like they did. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody know why. But Puff had an obsession with him for whatever reason it was, because he started wanting to act. He started wanting to rap. He had an obsession so bad that at his Grammy Award winning speech, he used the same speech that Pac used. That shit is crazy. So when I say I'm obsessed with talking about Puff and telling y'all the truth, who's obsessed with who? Pac had Sarah before Puff. Allegedly he had Sally before Puff. And Kim had an obsession or liked Pac so much, she on the red carpet with Tupac shirt on. Who's obsessed with who?
So you believe Diddy, he only got with Sarah Chapman because Pac, he had her at one point.
And it was a bet in the office. Sarah was messing with an NBA basketball player. Puff bet all the niggas didn't believe that he could get it within 2 weeks. $100. So she actually was a $100 bet that he got.
And who was the NBA player?
I think it was Gary Payton, allegedly. That's what he said. Somebody said, she messing with Gary Payton? I bet you I get it. I bet you I have it within 2 weeks. Me and him and Sarah went to this party in Chicago that he was hosting with the Streets Entertainment. And we went to this store called Cranberry and it's one of those stores like you get fragrance and you get candles, colognes and stuff like that. It's called Cranberry and something. And from that point on, yeah. But you gotta realize, Misa and Kim was friends. Misa and Kim was friends. He started dealing with Kim over Misa. Kim and Sarah was friends. I mean, hand to hand, pots and pans. They was close. They all used to, Sarah, Kim, and this other girl, I think she was from Atlanta. What's her name? It missed me right now. But they all used to hang together. So then, we went from Kim to Sarah. He liked to do the friend thing.
He's like 14 years older than me, 15 years older than me. You know what I'm saying? But you know, he was a probation officer. So he operated a little bit different. I was in the street full time, bro. You feel me? Like, I was outside in the field. So like, you know, you would hear Gene say when they got a threat on their life, Diddy told him, I'm not trying to hear that shit, Gene. Because it's your job to be gangster. It's your job to get wild with people. That's what you're getting paid for. So when you see people like that coming out, it's because they know for a fact, like, it's things that's going on they don't agree with, but they not man enough to say, you know what, I'm not standing for this. So a lot of people love me because if I see some guys doing something crazy to a female, hold on, boy, not in front of me. So that'll lead me to get like, oh, we ain't gonna hire him no more because he's not gonna allow this. So that's how like I ended up, like whenever Imana called me, I'm immediately coming because like he not on this strange shit y'all on. You know what I'm saying? That's why like if I don't want to say his name, I'm signing a contract with him. Let me be careful here. Let me be careful here, man. Let me be careful, cause that stuff about Diddy real, bro.
Well, what do you think about the Meek Mill accusations?
Okay. Now you know I used to bodyguard Rocky Fresh, who was signed to Rose.
Yep.
All right. Now, Meek said he wouldn't do a song with Rocky because Rocky wasn't street. Right. So, little things that take place and people would expect certain things out of him. But now with some of this stuff's coming out, if you look at his body of work, it's been strange things in his history. So then, you know, you go on this Twitter page, you click on his likes, bro. You see things that he's liking. That's questionable. Would you come up in here with a matching shirt with me?
Hell no.
Hell no. Ace, would you pop out with a matching shirt with me, bro? Styles, put that on something you gonna pop out with. No, boy, it's not going like that, bro. Would you let me call you daddy?
Hell no.
No, bro. I've been saying this for years. I say, man, these boys strange, man. The things they into is strange. I've seen so much. I've seen a lot, bro. So like with him, look how he responded to the situation. Not one time did he come out and say these things are a lie. Did you see that?
Yep.
He didn't say that.
He didn't deny it.
No, he didn't deny nothing. Because if he deny it, what's finna come out? Footage.
So you think Diddy has footage on Meek?
For sure. He got cameras through his whole crib. Every millionaire, billionaire I've been around, bro, they got, so I know what's going on. So if I go into the bathroom, I'm gonna cut the lights off, cut the flash on my phone, and look at the mirrors. If it's got that little hollow circle at the bottom, there's cameras in there. It's all, they're gonna be all through the crib. That's why most times I'm gonna chill in the car. Call me, text me if it's getting dangerous, I'm coming in demonstrating. Point blank period. This the facts, bro. I've been saying it for years, bro. For years. That's why I stopped just going by myself. Cause I be having my own money. You know what I'm saying? So like, you can't just tell me anything. So I'm like, okay, me and phone, I'm pulling up here. That's all. I'm not gonna pay for all your friends. The guys got cheese. We go to the club, we're gonna buy our own bottles. We gonna stand right here and make sure don't nothing happen. But when it comes to that camera stuff, people not denying it because they know.
Think about it, will celebrities ever truly feel safe letting loose again? Or are we stepping into a new era where parties go deeper underground and security gets tighter than ever? This leak has shaken the trust inside those elite circles, and now everyone's side-eyeing each other, wondering who's real and who's recording. One thing is crystal clear, this tea is scalding hot, and it's already leaving burns that won't heal anytime soon. The sparkle of Hollywood is starting to fade, and what's being exposed underneath isn't nearly as pretty. We're getting a rare, unfiltered look at the truth behind the fame and glam. And if this is just the beginning, buckle up, because this ride is far from over.